Hey guys, my name is Miriam. I'm an integrative nutritionist, and today I'm here to talk to you all about gut health. And the reason I'm so passionate about digestion is because it not only affects how your stomach feels, but it really is the cornerstone to your health and it's the forefront for feeling good inside of your body and functioning and thriving in your life. And you might have some typical gut symptoms. So you might feel bloated or gassy, you might have stomach pain or even been diagnosed with IBS or some other gut condition like GERD or IBD. But those aren't the only signs that it's important to focus on your gut health. So there are lots of other signs and symptoms that are really tied back to really what's going on in the gut. Our brain and our gut are directly connected. So you might have heard the gut called the second brain. And this is because there is a nerve that's actually the longest nerve in our body called the vagus nerve. And it goes from our spine, from our upper cranial spine, all the way through our heart, our lungs, and our digestive tract. And if you are feeling anxious or stressed, this communicates that anxiety and stress to your stomach. And so it will affect how your body is able to digest food and absorb the nutrients from that food. And another really interesting connection between that is that the gut and what's the health of the gut affects what's going on in the brain. And most of the serotonin in our body is produced in the gut. And serotonin is that neurotransmitter that makes us feel good. It helps to balance out the stress in our bodies and actually helps us to sleep at night as well. And if there's inflammation in the gut, that's actually going to inhibit your body's ability to produce serotonin. And so focusing on your gut health can really help to balance out your emotional health as well. If you're someone who gets sick often, you can also benefit from improving your gut health. So about 70% of our lymphatics, which are our immune system, circulate our immune cells through our body, are located in the gut. And so if you're someone who gets sick a lot, who has a lot of infections, and especially if you take antibiotics, this is really, really essential for you to help rebalance your gut. If you suffer from pain like migraines or joint pain or arthritis, it's really, really essential to also focus on your gut. And so our gut is our barrier to different compounds entering our bloodstream. And so we have something called tight junctions, which are cells that line our gut and prevent harmful compounds like undigested proteins, like bacteria, from entering our bloodstream. And so the tight junctions are really, really tightly connected. And you may have heard of leaky gut, which is when they can become damaged and become leaky. And so there's these spaces that form in between those tight junctions, and it allows compounds to enter the bloodstream, create inflammation, and that creates pain. And so working on that integrity of the gut lining can be really, really serving for you. Lastly, if you have any skin issues, so if you suffer from acne or eczema or psoriasis, that is a huge sign that focusing on your gut health, understanding your dietary triggers, and really working on your microbiome, that bacteria that live in the gut, are really going to be beneficial for you. And the reason this is because our gut and our skin are actually one layer. So the very most inside of our gut is actually like a tube, right? And the most inside of our gut is actually the outside of our skin. And so if there's any irritation in the gut, the skin is going to be one of the first things to show that irritation. And so all of these conditions, whether you get sick a lot, whether you have low mood or you're anxious or depressed, if you are just in general pain, those are all linked back to gut health. And we need to look at your digestion and what is going on inside your microbiome, which is all of that beneficial, good bacteria that live in the gut. My own journey with nutrition started with my own gut health. And I was suffering from so much pain. When I was in my early 20s, I was hungry, I was tired, I was nauseous, I couldn't sleep at night because my knees hurt so badly. And I really didn't understand why. And it took a lot of digging and investigation to really uncover food sensitivities and foods that I was eating that were actually causing my body a lot of harm and pain. And once I changed my diet, about 3 months later, every single one of my symptoms disappeared, which is incredible. And so it's really a testimony to how powerful nutrition can be in terms of how you feel inside of your life, how you feel on a confidence level, but also how you just feel functionality and how you relate to other people and how you're able to concentrate. So there are some super simple ways that you can actually start improving your digestion today. So the first thing is to chew your food well. When you eat slowly, when you're not distracted, when you can take your time to eat, you're doing a few things. So the first thing you're doing is you're really breaking down food so that you're not making your body work as hard to digest that food. And when you swallow whole pieces of food, bacteria love this. It's actually food for them also. But what happens when bacteria start digesting your food is they start creating a lot of gas, which makes you feel bloated and heavy and full. And so chewing your food helps to reduce gas and bloating. Another thing that slowing down to eat does is it helps to activate your rest and your digest nervous system, which sends blood flow to your intestines. So we have two different nervous systems. We have our rest and digest, and we have our fight and flight. And so if we're constantly stressed and running around and eating over the kitchen sink or grabbing a bar in between our work meetings, what you're doing is you're not allowing blood flow to your intestines. Instead, it's flowing to your muscles so that you can activate and respond and be acute, but you're not actually allowing your body to digest the food. And so I really recommend you not even eat in front of a TV. Try to put your food on a plate, slow down, and try to take at least 20 minutes. I know, 20 minutes to finish your meal. Okay, number 2 is a nice ritual that you can do every morning, and it's just a really nice way to jumpstart your digestion. And this is especially good if you feel bloated or nauseous or if you suffer from reflux. And so what you'll do is you'll take some warm water, you'll squeeze some lemon, add a little bit of apple cider vinegar and some ginger. And the warm water really helps to lubricate the digestive tract. The apple cider vinegar and lemon juice help to jumpstart stomach acid and bile flow, so it really gets like those digestive juices moving. And the ginger is really, really soothing for the gut as well. So especially if you feel nauseous in the morning, that's a really, really powerful tool. And just as a side note, apple cider vinegar and lemon can be harsh for some people. So if you feel a burning sensation after you've done this, what you can do is actually take a little bit of baking soda and water. So this practice is good for most people. But again, if you feel burning or if you have had a recent ulcer that you're healing from, do not do this practice. Okay. Next thing everyone can do. So we can all eat more fiber. And fiber, I know I'm like probably sound like your grandma. I'm like, eat more vegetables and eat more fiber. But it's true because we need fiber to bulken up our stool, to soften stool so that we can really support a daily bowel movement. And some of the best sources of fiber for this are chia seeds. So chia seeds are so magical. They basically like expand. They're these like tiny little seeds and they expand in water. And so you can even just like add a tablespoon to your water bottle or Google a recipe for chia seed pudding. It's really, really excellent. And so just making sure that you drink enough water with that. You can also do legumes, and so lentils and chickpeas and black beans are really, really high in fiber as well. You can do whole grains, you can do vegetables. And so, just to note, if you have no fiber in your diet at all right now, I recommend you just go a little bit slowly because it can be a little bit shocking to the system. So, just every day, add a little bit more fiber into the diet and make sure that you're hydrating well also while you do this, because fiber holds on to more water. And so if you're eating more and you're not drinking enough to compensate for that, you can actually become constipated. So drinking water, preferably room temperature or warm water, is really, really beneficial for your gut. Okay, now I know those fibers can be really hard for some people to digest, which I can totally respect. And so a nice hack for your grains and your nuts and your legumes and your seeds are to soak them overnight. And soaking them overnight actually helps to increase their digestibility. And it's called like soaking. You can also sprout them. So some seeds and nuts will do that and some won't sprout at all. But you're doing a few things by soaking them. So you're neutralizing phytic acid. So phytic acid is a nutrient binder. So it actually binds nutrients like magnesium and iron and zinc so that your body can't digest and absorb all of those great nutrients from the foods that you're eating. And soaking them overnight helps to break down some of this phytic acid, and cooking actually helps to do that as well. And let's see, it also helps to increase the enzyme content of those grains. And so something that a nice little hack actually that you can do is adding a little bit of apple cider vinegar to that water and leaving it out on your counter overnight. That will be perfect. So that's actually all I have planned for today.